Tony Taylor will be there. He will be able to lead the team, lead in assists, be able to get them the ball. But then you need the scores and you need that presence on the other end.
But you're telling me that when other teams prep for GW basketball, their key is going to be Joe Katuka.
Definitely. You see other teams coming in with bigger centers, with a lot more offensive ability. And Joe is mediocre on the offense. He has some good defensive ability, but teams always try to push inside. You saw last year with the Providence game, with Xavier when they came to town, Shamari Spears at Charlotte last year. They try to go to our weakness, and our weakness is that inside game, if not three-pointers is the other
I think
weakness.
you're making my point for me. The weakness is the inside game.
This is a tough one to say because I think the end of last season gives us some optimism for this season for Joe Katuka. He made a really good impact, and he totally changed his style of play for the better. However, the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands at the end of the game is Tony Taylor. The guy that Coach Hobbs will run a play for when they really need a bucket is going to be Tony Taylor. He's going to be incredibly important to this team. I think it'd be awesome if Joe Katuka is the best player on this team this year, but I think when other teams are prepping to play GW basketball, first guy they're going to look at is Tony Taylor and not Joe Katuka, simply because there are better big men in the A-10. So that knots us up at 1-all, heading into Fact or Fiction, a quicker segment with 3 quicker topics and fact or fiction answers from our players. NFL theme today. Fact or fiction? Alex, the NFL's new fine and suspension policy for violent hits is a good idea.
I think it's a great idea, ideally. The question is whether it will actually work. This has been a problem for years and years on end. They've had conferences about it. They've even gone to Congress about it. Has anything changed? You're still seeing 2 years later. I believe it was 2 years ago when the Players Association testified before Congress about all the terrible injuries that you have, and you look at it now and it's still happening. They still had this. I mean, to quote ESPN, nothing's changing. The suspension and fine policy, nothing is really changing. They're simply
punishing people for doing the thing that they're going to do anyway.
Exactly.
But is that a good thing?
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not a good thing because it's irrelevant more than anything.
It is a very difficult thing to define and to stop happening. I mean, people are going to play the game the way they play the game. In the NFL, it's hard to say to a defenseman that not to make this violent hit on a guy and just let him do the amazing catch like Deshaun Jackson. But the thing, things haven't not changed. This implementing of the rules is a stepping stone. It's going to go up and it's going to see whether it works or not. The NFL needs to take steps. All right. They can't just keep saying, oh, it's never going to change, there's nothing we can do. They need to try new things, implement new decisions that will eventually see if it works. If it doesn't work, then scrap it, we'll try it again, try some other thing.
Okay.
But things need to change here.
Fact or fiction, the Steelers are the best team in football.
Steelers are the best defensive team in football, but right now I think that the Jets could beat the Steelers in a game because of, you got the Sanchez, you got the explosive offense. Of course you got the Sanchez, the Jets, Jets. And I believe that the points they're putting up, the Steelers couldn't match them offensively. Yeah, the D could lock them down to a point, but I believe that the Jets offense could outduel the Steelers.
The Steelers have done almost all of it without Ben Roethlisberger to this point. Does that mean something?
Oh, it means a ton. The Steelers are the best team in football. They were up there. They were top 5 without Ben Roethlisberger. You add in a Pro Bowl quarterback, a Super Bowl MVP,
yep.
two Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
He had his stumbles on his first play. It was against the Cleveland Browns. It doesn't really matter. He ended up destroying them. That offense with Ben Roethlisberger, offense with Charlie Batch.
But they were winning with Charlie Batch.
That's my point. That's my point exactly.
That's
my point exactly.
But you're saying he's a Super Bowl winner, this I'm saying MVP candidate, but you're adding him into a team
because
that
the
did the same thing without him.
The defense is so good that the defense can carry a terrible quarterback.
Okay.
You add in a great quarterback, no question.
Speaking of those Browns, which apparently to Alex Crook don't matter, Fact or fiction, Colt McCoy will become the full-time starter for the Browns by the end of the season.
Once again, the Browns don't matter, but Colt McCoy is the third quarterback on the list. Yes, he is he's not the go-to guy. But then again, is Jake Delhomme a go-to guy? Colt McCoy is the future. So it's very much a trend in the NFL right now to start your rookies. You look at the Sanchez, as termed by Andrew, and the best fans in the world, Jets fans. You look at Sam Bradford. The thing in the NFL now is to either start your rookies at the end of the season to get them experience, your franchise quarterbacks, or to play them throughout the year. There's no reason he shouldn't play.
Will he get the nod?
Irrelevant.
I don't think he'll get the nod. He will play this year, or this week with the injuries. I mean, Jake, throwing an interception every time I throw the ball to Delhomme is not their number one QB. They have Seneca Wallace.
Seneca Wallace is
his stats this year have actually not been that bad.
He's missed in Seattle. The fine folks in the Pacific Northwest miss him. I enjoyed that segment. I will have to agree with Alex on a couple of the key points here. I do think Colt McCoy will be the starter. I think the Browns need to make an investment for the future and create some sense of optimism. If they at least tell people there's a future coming in Colt McCoy, even if he's not going to be that good, then that's all the Browns really need, and the Browns don't really matter. The Steelers, I'd have to say, even though I definitely see your point, but I think it kind of proves his point a little bit, the Steelers are the best team in football, and then they added on a really good player. Yeah, they were one of the best teams already, and then they added on a really good player, and that makes them the best team in football right now. That changes all the time, but right now I'd say that's true. I think Andrew makes the correct point there on the fine and suspension policy, but that still gives Alex Crook the 2-1 advantage in fact or fiction, and now the 2-1 advantage overall in the show. Now on to the NBA. The basketball season is just around the corner. Which team are we looking forward to seeing the most?
LeBron and Super Friends, of course. No team has had more hype than this team in my memory. With the big three there, I want to see how they live up the hype. I want to see how their games go. I want to see them lose. I want to see them win. I want to see some big upsets against them, and I think it's going to be really interesting to watch them. I want to see Miami Heat versus Kobe. I want to see that matchup this year, and it's just something I'm going to want to watch TNT throughout the year, trying to see what happens in South Beach.
As much as I love watching LeBron not win championships, and I really do.
Too soon.
I'm going to have to say the Orlando Magic. And why the Orlando Magic? Number one, because Stan Van Gundy has a great team. What has he done with it? They are stacked at every position. If they have a healthy point guard in Jameer Nelson, they have a healthy shooting guard, three healthy shooting guards, two small forwards. Brandon Bass is the weak point.
You're saying they're a basketball team.
Brandon Bass is all right.
Might have a center.
They're stacked at point. They're stacked at shooting guard. They're stacked at small forward and Dwight Howard. I don't even really need to talk about how awesome Dwight Howard is.
He doesn't even have backups.
He doesn't need a backup. He plays all game. I mean, honestly, they have the best team in the Eastern Conference.
And that makes them worth watching.
Why?
They have the
they have the best team in the Eastern Conference, but they have done nothing with it.
You're in the right state, but you need to go south.
The question is, will they win? Will they win?
The question with the Heat is, will they win? It's the biggest hype team ever. You want to watch them, see if they win, how they're going to perform. You want to watch LeBron put up 40, 50 points. You want to see Bosh in the middle, and when Wade comes back, you want to see how
Bosh is going to put up huge numbers.
Yeah, you want to see the chemistry between them. Yeah, Bosh has been in Toronto. Now people get to see him in the
and nobody's going to be guarding him because they'll be spending all their defenders on LeBron and Wade. It's the best team in the East.
You look at the Magic. They've been in contention for the Eastern Conference Championship year in, year out for the past 3-4 years. There is no reason they're not considered, if not the best team in the Eastern Conference.
The top three.
They have, like I said, they have depth. They have players sitting on the bench who should be starters elsewhere in the league.
So you're saying there's no reason not to pick against them, is what you're saying.
Exactly. The Magic have, who is on the Heat bench? Who
do you need?
Eddie House.
Eddie House, exactly. Eddie House. When those guys sit down, you have the Heat bench coming on. When the Magic sit down, you have it could be a starting five anywhere in the league.
Because the bench comes on for so long to replace LeBron and Wade and Bosh. See,
Wade pulls himself.
The Magic are a great team. Dwight Howard's great. It's the same team as last year. Yeah, they're going to be great contenders, but I want to see what happens here. You know, this is a change, and this is a hyped up team that's going